very good evening to everyone in Malaysia, all right? And of course, a good afternoon to David Chu, all right? Our honored guest tonight. We are going to interview him. So tonight we have our virtual AstroCafe session by the Astronomical Society of Penang, live on Facebook and also on YouTube. Okay, so good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good anytime, anywhere in the world. All right. So I will just ask what we call David some questions, and then later on David will answer. And anyone who have any question can ask. So it's a casual type of conversation. So just want to interview the person interviewed is our Mr. David Chew Wee Kwan, a Malaysian, right? And he's where now in a place which I wanted to go for so long, Baikonur Cosmodrome. All right, more than 1,000 kilometers from Moscow, no? So far from Malaysia. So he's there, and he's going to tell us why he's there, and he's there to make sure that the launching of those satellites will be successful. All right. So just I'll ask him some questions. So this is our first question. So David, can you tell us a bit of your background first? Just a casual information. I'll ask you more details on your background later. So basically, your background and why are you in Baikonur, right?
Okay. All right, sure. I guess you can hear me clearly, I hope.
Sure, can hear.
As Dr. Chung has mentioned, I'm right now in Baikonur, and this is the place where it's like not many, the population is really small. So the internet here probably is not so good. So I hope I can speak easily and you can hear me well.
Yes.
And about my background, I'm actually from Seremban, Malaysia. And then I did my undergrad studies in Penang and in USM engineering campus. So, and then I further my studies in Japan in 2014. And then I did my master's there in Keio University. And after, in 2017, I joined Axelspace as a satellite engineer. And it's been about 4 years I've been working in Japan. So, and today, and this year, I'm really fortunate that I'll be given the chance to form a launch campaign for my company to prepare our satellite for launch in Baikonur. And in our company, we usually launch rockets with Russians. So this is we have a long relationship with the Russians from the establishment of our company. And this time is really interesting for maybe really important mission for us because we are launching multiple satellites in one launch. So the condition here is not easy. On top of all those coronavirus travel restrictions. So unfortunately or fortunately, I have to stay in Baikonur for more than a month. So maybe personally, it's fortunate for me thanks to the coronavirus restriction because we need to do quarantine and we have a lot of problems in terms of the logistics. Therefore, we have to stay this long. But usually we just need to stay 1 week or 2 weeks. But this time we have to stay 1.5 months because of some coronavirus situation. A lot of launch backlog has happened. So that also gave me opportunity to actually witness a few launches from Baikonur every 2 weeks.
Wow.
So this becomes actually my fortunate experience here in Baikonur. Yeah.
So actually, for me, David, every word you say is so exciting to me, right? And you are in Baikonur some more, all right? So just another thing, what is tell us about the mission you are in Baikonur Cosmodrome on the launching of, I understand, the 4 GRUS satellite, 1B, C, D, and E, meaning 1A was launched earlier, okay? And also the subsequent separation of the Soyuz rocket. Maybe you can give us some technical details of it. And this is coming from our Malaysian first hand in Baikonur.
Sure. Well, this time I've been given a role to lead the launch campaign team to work in Baikonur to prepare our satellite. So what does a launch campaign mean? It's usually where we ship our satellite to the launch site, and then we have to unpack our satellite and check the condition of satellite, make sure it functions well, and then and perform a last preparation on satellite. For example, if we need to install something or we need to remove something on the satellite. And finally, once we finish our satellite, we will put those satellite on top of the rocket upper stage, where the rocket will release these satellites into orbit. So we need to ensure all this work is done correctly, and there cannot be any mistake in this stage, because any mistake will cause a launch failure and you will incur a very big loss. So we need to be really careful in all our preparation. And finally, usually before the satellite being encapsulated by the space ferry, like final closing, we will remove some items, just like a pilot do some final check before flight. So he will check the engine and remove some items. So I did the same on our satellite. We will make sure all the non-flight items and remove before flight items is removed. And I just performed this work on Friday. And then now the satellite is all encapsulated and ready for launch next week. So technically, as of today, I'm actually end of my job and I'm quite relaxed in hotel right now.
Yeah. So congratulations for putting all the satellites in, and also all the other satellites together, and the fairing is closed. So now it's a waiting time, very, very suspenseful. So the launching will be on 20th of March, next Saturday. Will it be shown live?
Yes, it will be live from two sources. One is from the Roscosmos website,
yes,
which I can show all of you later when it is available. And on the other side, our company also will organize this launch viewing, also stream from Russia. So you have two ways to watch the launch together with me.
Yeah. So I understand the GRUS satellites, the 4 satellites you're launching, were all built in Axelspace in Japan, isn't it? Can you give us more details of these satellites, GRUS satellites?
Sure. Yeah, that would be my pleasure.
Yeah.
First of all, maybe I explain a little bit of my company. So Axelspace is based in Tokyo, in the center of Tokyo, and we've been building satellites since 2008. And from 2015, we decided to go into Earth observation business and to provide satellite imagery service to the customer. So before 2015, we were building satellites for customer, but after 2015, we are building satellites by ourselves. We sell image to the customer.
Yes.
So we are going into data business. So this business is called Excel Globe, where we want to take a new image of Earth every day, so you can have fresh image about the location that you're interested every day. And to perform this mission, we have all these GRUS satellite.
Yeah.
And as you have mentioned, good guess, 1A was launched in 2018.
Yes.
And that is been now in orbit operating. And this time we are building the almost similar GRUS-1 series, which we just call it BCDE. And this time is our mass production of the satellite. And then we launch them at the same launch.
So David, allow me to put on the pictures now. You can explain as I what I call scroll the pictures. Okay. You look at the satellites that David has helped to build in Japan. Okay, so David in his jacket with the patch, the launch. So is our Malaysian Spacecraft Systems Engineer. Okay. So can you say again where is this place again? Baikonur, David?
So maybe most of you guys might mistaken Baikonur is kind of inside Russia, but actually it is not. It is a former Soviet Union launch site based in Kazakhstan. Yeah. So I'm actually quite far away from Moscow. Actually, I have to take like 4 hours flight from Moscow. So Baikonur is located within Kazakhstan, and it is the point in red is what you can see where it is located, and the blue dot is where I stay, and my hotel is located as well. So yeah.
Yeah.
So this is Baikonur, and Baikonur is a very interesting place because it is also a Russian territory. Here, everything people speak Russian, and we pay everything in Russian rubles, despite the fact that we are in Kazakhstan. So it's a little bit a tricky territory in this area.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. We show the satellite.
Sure.
Yeah.
And as you can see, this picture is taken on March 3rd, where we finished the work of integration of our satellite on upper stage. So you can see we are the first one to finish our work. So there's nothing on the upper stage other than just 4 GRUS by us. As you can see, they are located around the perimeter of the upper stage. There is the 4 BCDE satellites.
Where are you in this picture, David?
Oh, I'm actually at the one in the middle, wearing the black mask, kneeling down. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Very
nice. Yeah. So this is your team, huh? Your team, huh? Yeah.
Yes. My team consists of 9 person. 7 of them are actually most of them are Japanese, and then there is also another Malaysian and another Spanish.
Yeah.
In my team.
How long does it take to assemble one GRUS satellite? Huh?
Oh, you mean in Tokyo?
Yeah,
or in
Japan? In Tokyo.
Japan?
From
in
all
Tokyo?
in Tokyo, from all the separate parts, how long does it take to assemble one satellite?
Oh, well, assemble probably does not take too much time. But the process of designing, testing is the one that takes the longest.
Yeah.
So this project has been ongoing for 2 years. But in terms of manufacturing and assembly, it probably just take well, this is mass production, so we finished assembled all 4 satellites in half a year.
Oh, I see. I saw another picture. There you are. Where are you in this picture? The one behind there. Yeah.
Okay. I'm the one on the leftmost.
Yeah. That's you. Yeah. The team leader. Yes. Very nice.
Yes.
I just want to ask you, what is this nozzle on top here for? This for the adjusting the orbit in space.
Okay. No, these are not the nozzle. These are the antenna to transmit this high volume data back to Earth.
I see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like, how any question you can ask, huh? Just very nice, huh? Yeah. Okay. And then picture here.
Maybe a little bit more information on the previous picture. And this is the stage where we finish preparing our satellites. But because we have some launch happening in the middle, so the rocket needs to move in and move out our area. So our clean room will become not so clean. Therefore, we need to cover our satellite for a period of a week for this transition. So we finish our work, and then we cover our satellite closely, nicely, to avoid dust going into our satellite.
Yeah. What is the work of this satellite in space? What does it do in space?
So we are actually taking images of Earth in terms of different. We're doing optical image.
Yes.
So I think this society is called Astronomical Society. Usually on Earth, you use a telescope to see to the space, and then you look for the stars. We do the in reverse. We bring our telescope to the space, and then we look back to Earth and take images on the Earth's surface.
Now, who are the customers of the pictures that you take from space? What do they take the picture for? The purpose?
Sure. Of course, there are various customers that will use satellite imagery. Maybe just some example, like people who, for example, farmers or modern day farmers, if they want to monitor their large farm, which the health condition of the farm or their plantation, usually they use satellite imagery as well. And there could be a customer needed for this disaster monitoring. For example, if we detect forest fire or potential volcano eruption, this also can give some early warning,
Yeah.
and also maybe post-disaster evaluation. Like let's say some earthquake happens or tsunami happens, where if insurance company wants to assess the damage, they also use satellite imagery to do that. Yeah, as well.
Yeah, it must be very good business, David. Wow, this thing, yeah. That one more thing is, I checked already. So it seems this satellite are sent into polar orbit or sun synchronous. Can you explain why are they sent into polar orbit, sun synchronous orbit?
Sure. Maybe I would like to maybe explain a little bit on orbit. Sun synchronous orbit, as the name implies, which means the orbit goes. The object in this orbit will go from pole to pole, either from North Pole to South Pole, or South Pole or South Pole to North Pole. And then this orbit is really special in the sense that the orbital plane will always follow the sun, so you can have the same time when the orbit passed by the Earth. So every time we take an image of a place in this orbit, for example, this in GRUS, we set our orbit to be about 10 to 11 a.m. So this orbit will always take image of the Earth at exactly this time, so we can have very consistent lighting for our image.
What is the resolution of the pictures? Up to what resolution?
Sure. 1 pixel is about 2.5 meters.
Oh, that's good. Very good. Very good business. Yeah.
So this resolution of us is not too high that will intrude privacy, and also not too low to give a very coarse image. So I think this resolution is just nice to perform this remote sensing application that we want to do.
So which means that one satellite can cover the whole Earth in one day. The whole world can be covered in one day.
Okay. In this case, actually, our satellites right now, we have 5 satellites. We can actually cover I would say maybe not the whole Earth. Maybe I would say just the dry land of Earth. Because we probably not many people are interested in ocean. So we focus on land first. Right now, what we can do is we can cover the whole Earth every 3 days.
Yeah, fantastic.
And in future, if we have 10 satellites, we probably can do every 1 day. Yeah.
Wow. Well, just one more question is, why did they choose the name GRUS? Because I checked, GRUS is a constellation of the crane, right? So why was the name GRUS chosen?
Yes. In terms of name, we usually like to choose the name of birds, and since Axelspace is based in Japan, and GRUS is the scientific name for Japanese crane. In Chinese, people might call it Dan Ding He or Ribbon He. Is symbolic of a crane from Japan.
Yeah. Okay, let me show now a picture of you in Baikonur. Wow, nice.
Dr. Chong, before that, we have some questions from the audience.
Okay, why not you?
The first one is how much was the project cost, and also the purpose of the mission. I think the purpose of the mission we have mentioned slightly, right?
Yeah.
Sure. Well, it's really hard to quantify how much the project costs because we do not sell the project to our customer. Instead, we build this project in a long-term investment plan. So there's no really straightforward quantification for this project cost. And as for the purpose, maybe I can re-emphasize again. It is an Earth observation mission.
Okay, we have another question from William. How do we deal with the atmospheric turbulence in order to get the sharp images?
Yeah. Okay. Sure. This involves in a remote sensing technique where all the atmospheric turbulence, for example, atmospheric scattering, this and that, this will be post-processed using our data pipeline on ground.
Okay. By the way, you have a greeting from your home, from Chi Hen Chiu. Is it your family?
Yeah. I think it's my uncle.
So
Okay,
he's
welcome,
watching.
Mr.
Yeah.
Shi. Welcome. Thank you.
All right. Dr. Chong, you may continue.
Okay, so David, so you have been in Baikonur, so lucky, for so many days. So what are your impressions of Baikonur? So we can see a picture here of Baikonur. Can you tell us your impressions of Baikonur?
Sure. I think perhaps this picture worth 1,000 words that I can describe. I'm actually this place that this picture is taken in front of my hotel. As you can see, it's flat land, barren land of nothingness, and usually you can see some camel and horses, and there's no other entertainment in this place.
Yeah.
Which is good in the sense that you can have an obstructed view to see the horizon every day.
Yeah.
The land horizon, you can see the sun rise and sunset. Really beautiful scene here.
Yeah.
And it's totally different from where I work in Tokyo, where you have a lot of skyscrapers and basically you live in a small place. But here is like wide, and then it gives me a feeling of how to say openness, or in Chinese, 心旷神怡. It's like really nice feeling staying here for the first month.
Okay, wait. More pictures by David or by Kono? More pictures. Can you explain this, David?
Sure. Usually, for launch campaign in my company, we normally leave the launch site before the launch because we need to communicate with satellites. And but this time we are fortunate due to a lot of backlog of launches. So our work has been disrupted or disturbed by a few launches. So I was fortunate to watch a few launch actually during my stay here. So I believe this picture is taken on the ISS cargo mission refuel on February 15th. So this picture is taken at that time.
Yeah. Another picture here. Wow, fantastic.
Yeah, this is the morning scene in front of my hotel. This is the sunrise scene from another launch pad. These are the Proton rocket launch pad. Yes.
So just to let you all know, we know even in Malaysia that the Baikonur is the most busiest spaceport on planet Earth. They have launched from there thousands of launches. Busiest spaceport in the world is in Baikonur, right? So another one here.
Yeah, this is the picture of my hotel.
Yeah, there's snow on the ground, huh? So I understand that temperature there now is -6 degrees Celsius, but it's clear weather lah. Clear weather.
Yes.
Another picture. Wow.
Okay. This is when I was on my way to work. Basically, this is the scene. Yeah, emptiness.
Yeah. So we know that for me, David is so lucky because at one time, Baikonur Cosmodrome is nobody in the world can go, only for military people. So nobody can go, only it was opened up recently to the public only. Okay. Another picture here, I see here a camel. Huh?
Yes, this is no ordinary camel. This is a white camel. Quite rare. Yeah. Usually you see the black or brown camel, and I was lucky to witness white camel a few times.
Wow.
And the driver told me that if you see a white camel, that means you have a good day today.
Yeah, very nice, interesting. Yeah. Another picture, wow, so nice, this picture. Yeah.
Yes, this is the wall where all the astronauts, when they come here, they will put a signature here.
Yeah.
So kind of this is the signature wall for all the astronauts when they are being sent to space from Baikonur.
Yeah, this is understand the Vostok rocket, Vostok one, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. And
wow.
probably you can find some famous astronaut put their sign in here as well.
Yeah.
And my personal favorite is Leonov, the first spacewalk astronaut.
Yeah. Alexei Leonov, fantastic. Were you allowed to sign inside there? Did you sign here?
I'm not cosmonaut, so I cannot sign.
Fantastic. Wow, so nice. I'm going to print this out. So nice. Huh? Yeah. Wow, this one.
So most of you might see a similarity of this spacecraft, like space shuttle by US. But actually in Russia, they also have similar a spacecraft called the Buran, or Buran in their language. So I was able to visit the prototype of Buran in Baikonur Museum.
Wow, 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 wow. Yeah. Oh, another one, huh? Where you are?
And yes, there are 2 houses open for visit in the Baikonur Museum. One of it is Yuri Gagarin's house when he is being prepared to send to space, and another one is Sergei Korolev, the chief designer of the rockets and space program during the Soviet Union era. So these 2 houses side by side, and I believe this house that I took is Sergei Korolev house. He's kind of my idol in because he's a really popular engineer that designed all the rockets and spacecraft.
Yeah, fantastic, fantastic. Wow, wow, wow. Another one.
Yeah, probably this is the room where Gagarin stays back then. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
And I think he stay with his backup. Like if he has some issue, then his backup will take over his role. So that's why there are 2 beds here.
Yes, yes, fantastic. Wow, 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 wow. Wow.
Yeah, and this is the Soyuz capsule that will dock into ISS or any docking mechanism. We'll use this spacecraft. And if I'm not wrong, the astronauts are in the spherical, the white spherical capsule, and then in the middle is engine and instrumentation.
So nice.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. This is also another. This is a part of fairing where it is dropped on Earth. So fairing is the one that covers the payloads or the satellites when the rocket sent to space. And then this is one of the remaining pieces that falls back to the Earth. And then they collect it and put the signature and keep it in the museum.
Yeah. So we know that Yuri Gagarin went to space in 1961. That means mankind have been into space for 60 years or no, for 60 years, mankind have gone into space. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, this one.
Yeah, so this is the 2 guys that I mentioned. The one on the left is Gagarin, and the one on the right is the Sergei Korolev, the chief engineer.
Yes. One more. Wow.
And this is the rocket series developed in and probably also launched in Baikonur as well. So you can see these are the series of rockets being developed in here.
Yeah.
And
Michael?
maybe I want to highlight one thing. I also found out that our first satellite, if I'm not wrong, or maybe the first few, Miasat.
Yes, Miasat.
Yeah, Miasat is also launched from Baikonur. Yeah.
Yes.
And then it is launched on Zenith rocket, so which is the one in the middle.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. So exciting. Yeah. Michael, any question for David?
Yeah, there's one new question also from Jun Lee. How do you feel the general market trend in space-based application and service in the next 5 years?
Sure. Actually, for space-based business, it's getting very popular in recent years, especially in this coming 10 years. There will be multiple developments in space market. You have space. For example, space-based resources or the images. For example, Earth observation. You can get satellite images easier, and then you can also have this space navigation or this where, for example, you want to develop IoT sensors and then you want to transmit your signal to satellites, so without needing ground infrastructure, so you basically can have Earth like a whole world coverage easily. So these are the trend is going quite strong in the recent years. And also not forgetting human space flight is also getting popular back again. particularly NASA is want to go back to Moon, so they have Artemis program, and also SpaceX is leading a few private space commercialization effort. As you might have known, recently we have one Japanese billionaire. He bought 8 tickets to the Moon. By 2023, he will bring 8 people, so 9 of them will just go one round to the Moon and come back. So this kind of very exciting programs or projects is coming along in the coming 10 years.
So that means Axelspace Corporation want to send all the plan of this satellite. What about the future plans for Axelspace after sending this 10 satellite? What are the future plans for Axelspace?
I think for Axelspace, we are continuing to provide better service for space imagery service to the customer. So right now, after this launch, we will have 5 satellites, and in future we want to improve the business or the coverage or the latency. So for example, I mentioned that we have the revisit time about 3 days, and then if we launch more, we can get to 1 day and more frequent and better service. So I believe the company is going to improve this service in the next 10 years. And also, we also want to bring down the cost of sending satellite to the space. So in future, if you have some mission that you want to launch to the space, you can actually develop the mission and put it on our satellite, and then we can do the launch for you.
Are there other Japanese companies also making microsatellites, or is Axelspace the only company in Japan making microsatellites?
Yes, in Japan, there are multiple companies working on space mission. We have one rocket company, and one, of course, Axelspace is doing this optical image, and we have a couple of companies doing this radar image called the SAR.
Yeah.
So doing that, and we also have one company doing this space debris collection service.
Okay.
So they can send satellites to service some existing satellite in orbit, or bring down some big debris in the orbit back to Earth. So you reduce the chance to have space debris.
So can I say there's a good career prospect in Japan for space industry?
Yes.
You are good. Oh, okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Young Malaysians be interested to know. Now, just now you mentioned a bit, David, about how you went to Japan. Can you give us more detail? After your studies in USM, you went to Keio University in Tokyo, and then later on become a spacecraft system engineer. So can you give us the details? You entered Keio and then became a spacecraft systems engineer in Axelspace. Yeah.
Sure. Well, one thing I would like to start off is actually I'm not an aerospace major in USM. I actually started off as a mechanical engineering student, and then my original plan to go to Japan is to further my study on electric vehicle. That was my original goal. But when I come to Japan, I was have the chance to take some classes about aerospace engineering. And then eventually I got so interested in aerospace programs, and so I do a lot of studies by myself, and I take all the courses in the university, and then eventually I changed my direction of my career into aerospace engineer.
So I understand Keio is a very prestigious private university in Japan.
Yeah. I was on a scholarship to study in this university. So basically, there is a lot of, I think there are a few scholarship opportunity to study in Japan. So if you are able to obtain this scholarship, you can come to Japan and study with this sponsorship as well.
So you young Malaysians who are watching and listening, please listen to David. A lot of chance for space industry in Japan, right? So
Yeah.
and then okay, so I think
Dr. Chong, we have another question.
Okay, please ask.
Okay, from David also. Okay, can you say roughly how many components are off-the-shelf parts like some parts of the Ingenuity helicopters are off-the-shelf parts as opposed to radiation-hardened parts?
Oh, sure. Well, this is a rather quite a technical questions, and I would say in our company we build most of the components by ourselves. So we have, I believe, maybe more than 70% of our spacecraft is built in-house, and then we have a few items that bought from off the shelf. So yeah, hopefully this answers your questions. And then regarding another question of radiation hardened parts, radiation hardened part components are really expensive and not common to use. So we try to do minimal radiation hardened process, and we focus more on how to be more flexible when we have a radiation issue. For example, we can reboot easily when we have a radiation effect happen on our electronics.
Yeah, because we now know, David, that solar cycle number 25 is coming on, more and more active. So you have to be careful of the solar activity.
Yeah. Unfortunately, because of this launch, we will face kind of the peak solar activity peak in coming years.
Yeah. So everything you say is so exciting to us. So another personal question. The following two questions I think have been asked by our watchers already. So I jump to the next question. So David, what are your plans for your future?
I see.
Yeah.
Well, personally, I have two directions that I want to pursue. The first one is either on further enhance the space commercialization, where we want to make space technology or space-based service more common to the people on Earth. So this is one part. And another kind of my personal interest is to be able to involve in a space exploration project. For example, do something on asteroid, do something on Moon or Mars. This is my personal interest.
Yeah. So exciting. First hand. Yeah. Maybe what we can do is, David, if ever you come back to Penang, hopefully no more MCO, we want to ask you to give a public talk to our Penang people. Right? Some of the schools in Penang that we know. Okay. So maybe also, can you give some advice to our young Malaysians who are keen to pursue, because this space thing I know is very wide. No? Like this, what you are doing now is launching on microsatellite in the optical, what they call wavelength. Of course, you have also space tourism, a lot of things about space. So what is your advice to these young Malaysians, and what are the courses to study, university and beyond, if they want to pursue this career?
Sure. As you mentioned, space-related industry or space industry in general does not really need a particular like you don't have to be aerospace engineer to participate in space industry, because in order to, for example, in my case, in order to launch a satellite, we need people from multiple industry. We need people from mechanical, we need people from electrical. We also need people in communication, radio frequency. Even we also need people that knows how to do business, to create business for our satellite mission. And we also need people to do PR, to kind of promote this activity. So our company don't really need to hire people with aerospace degree, but actually people from all around all expertise. So my advice to these to students or to young people who would like to involve in space industry, you just need to do your best in your field and then link your expertise to space mission. And there's always a linkage to the space in the end, because this is by mankind for mankind. So it's not really restricted to any restricted discipline that you study. So you can get involved in many ways. Even if you do medical, you still can do medical research in space as well, for like a microgravity environment, and do studies like that. So we need people all around the box of education background.
So everyone, please listen to David. Listen to David. Michael,
Yeah.
any question?
We have a question from Lai Hok. Does your company offer any internship for young Malaysians?
Yes, there are a lot of internship opportunity that is possible, and you can just apply to our website. No problem. And I believe this same goes to other company in Japan as well. So just check them out and then send emails. And I think most important thing is don't feel shy to ask. So you never know what opportunity you might land. You just ask for it. Yeah.
I think we are pushing David too fast. He's answering our question too fast. Michael, relax. We can ask him more.
I think there's another related question. There's another related question in terms of careers. How are you able to get a job as a fresh graduate? What were the companies looking for? I think there is a partially answer just now. It's you can go for a different field.
Yep, exactly.
So that's a general question I'll ask. So David, how do you find studying in Japan? Yeah.
Well, studying in Japan probably is a bit challenging if you do not know Japanese in the beginning. And same as my situation, I actually come to Japan to study with no. I actually do not intend. I mean, I do not want to study that much in Japan in the beginning. This is just maybe like a twist of fate. I think there's a Chinese word for that. 无心插柳. It's like something you got it unintentionally. Because I do not know any Japanese. I had no proficiency in Japanese before I studied in Japan. But if you are able to land this kind of opportunity, just keep your mind open and open to the culture, and then find the best out of your environment. So, for example, I was able to, how should I say, because I know nothing about Japan, so I actually learned everything. Every day is new things for me to learn in Japan, and then accept their culture, and then actually you can also offer your unique your opinion on Japanese culture, and the local Japanese actually wants to learn from you as well. So because you bring them a fresh perspective, so be original, be open at the same time.
Yeah, good answer. Yeah. So that's a special question for me, personal one. So you're now in Russia for some time. So how do you find the Russian food? Russian food.
Yes. Well, fortunately, because I stay here for more than a month, I was able to try many Russian cuisine, and at the same time, I also can link some of the cuisine that link to their festival or some kind of special day. Like for example, last week it was some kind of special day where you only eat pancake for a week. But of course, I don't eat pancake for a week. But they have a culture in the past that a kind of religion culture, religion practice, like they want to eat they have to eat pancakes for a week. So so something like that. So and then I learned their culture from their food as well. Yeah.
Do you also miss Malaysian food?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So,
every day.
I think someone mentioned about a stew bao in the comments just now.
Since you studied in Japan, since you went to Japan some years ago, have you come back to Malaysia?
Yes. I always come back at least once a year.
Oh, good. Yeah. So you come back and try our Malaysian food lah.
Someone mentioned about the stew bao.
Yes. Lamban stew bao. Famous.
Okay, so we have another question. How do you view Malaysia's development in space ventures, and what's the gap that you think Malaysia has towards space ventures?
Good question.
Sure. Well, based on my shallow knowledge about Malaysian space scene, but as far as I can follow, I think Malaysia tends to focus more on ground application right now. They want to focus more on remote sensing application, which maybe some people might not agree, but I think this is probably good because this has a lower barrier of entry, and then you create value immediately on space using a space technology. So, for example, if we can focus more on how to improve agriculture or how to improve urban development or prevent natural disaster, using space technology. I think this is a way to be able to get the value immediately and to be used. And in terms of space exploration, Malaysia, I think this is just my personal opinion. I think this is lacking at the moment because exploration takes a lot of money and to do that, and the value you cannot see it immediately. So that's why there's a lack of funding in this area. So probably you will not see many exciting, cool projects in space in this part. But I think focusing on application is actually a way to go.
Yeah. Hong, any question?
No, I think you can continue.
Yeah. So that's our standard question. So let me think of some more question. Huh? So after
David, do you see
on the 20th of March, we hope all successful. Do you plan to tour around Russia a bit? There are a lot of space and astronomy, what they call tourist spots in Russia. Yeah, we just interviewed Mr. Sergei Bobrov. He's a Russian amateur astronomer. Came to Penang some years ago. He knows so much about Russian astronomy. He gave us a very good presentation last time also. Yeah.
Wow.
So do you intend to stay back in Russia a while to tour around Russia a bit?
Probably this is also not my first time visiting Moscow. When I think I came to Baikonur for some survey in the past, so I was able to do a transit in Moscow, and then I even though it's just a couple of days, I was able to visit the Cosmonautic Museum in Moscow, which is really impressive, and I would encourage everyone, if you have a chance to transit or stay, have a stay over in Moscow, if you only have one day, and spend the day in the Museum of Cosmonautics. Yeah.
Yes. So Michael, any more question?
No, for now.
Just wondering, David, what do you think of your prospect of getting back to Malaysia and started to develop into space exploration project in Malaysia?
No, more than that, Rahul start his own company.
Yeah, maybe.
Company.
The next Malaysian Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Well, that's the maybe too much for me. but at the moment, I think it is always my how should I say, like, my ultimate goal to come back to Malaysia and contribute to the space scene in Malaysia. So right now I'm kind of in a learning phase where I gain network and knowledge from international part. So this will enhance me to better contribute back to Malaysia when the timing is good. And I'm also encourage people to form a community earlier on, so we can exchange ideas. And as soon as we have something to hit off, then we can start projects together all the time.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, I haven't heard of the community at all actually in Malaysia. Maybe we should start off with one of them.
Yeah. I will be grateful to join and contribute my part.
Yep.
So
Yeah, and I also want to applaud what you guys are doing. This session, AstroCafe, is maybe it's a good start where you gather people like-minded and then connect people and form a bigger community.
So just to keep you with the news, David, we started in USM 1986 年 1986 USM Astronomical Club, and we have been all over Penang, all over Malaysia. And right now, you ask me, what is the current interest of amateur astronomy in Malaysia? It has exploded everywhere. Many people got telescope, got astronomy club. In Penang also, we have 9 observatories, 9 organizations, including primary school, secondary school, got observatories. So very key. But of course, when you promote astronomy, also you must know about space exploration. Sure, people ask about space exploration. So now we are waiting for the next one. Tianwen 1号, Tianwen 1 hopefully will land on Mars, and the rover comes out lah. So in the net we reporting. So nice. Okay. So we thanks a lot, David, for being here. David Chiu is with us tonight. We are so honored to have him. So we hope when you come back to Malaysia, let us know. Hopefully no MTO, then you can come and join us and we can give talks in the school. So on behalf of everyone here, thank you again, David. And we hope that the launching on next Saturday will be successful. And then the release of the 4 GRUS satellites and the other satellites will be successful. Okay. And of course, wish you all the best in your future career. And we hope to have you with us again. All right.
Okay, before we
share
end,
my
we have
news about the launch information, so you can also connect me in Facebook, and I will share our latest news of launch. And if we get a signal from our satellite, I'll be more happy to tell everybody about it. Yeah.
Yes. Please inform our members. Yeah, Michael. Any other thing?
there is one question. I'm not sure whether we have mentioned about that. So from Douglas, Mr. Chiu, are you doing researches in Russia?
No. I'm just working in Russia for a month to prepare my satellite for launching. But I'm always work in Tokyo, and I work in satellite development area.
I just got a wild idea. Don't know where else to say here. Maybe you can go before you go back to Japan. You go to somewhere the launch pad of the Russian cosmonaut one. Take the soil from there out of a piece of rock there and keep it. This is the launch pad of Baikonur. I took it. Yeah.
I think now, sorry that I actually owe the audience of an apology for not being able to turn on my mic because I was actually in a cafe. It was quite noisy here. But anyway, thank you for David for doing this with us, and really fruitful to have all the information, and also good luck for your launch. And hopefully, if you're back in Malaysia at any time soon, we shall meet up and talk about more about it. The space
my pleasure. Yes.
forum or something.
So thanks again to David, Michael, and Lahok. All right. And our thanks to everyone for listening. And keep in touch. We hope to have David with us again in future. All right, huh?
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.